All right, so if you feel like you're not putting on muscle fast enough, today we're gonna go over one of the most common culprits that holds most people back. And now this applies to beginners that feel like they're just smashing their head against the wall, and seasoned lifters who just have that lagging body part that's been like that for years, haven't been able to bring it up. Trust me, there's hope. So let's get after it. So the frustration of not getting the results you want is usually accompanied by unwanted and unhelpful local gym expert advice that usually runs along the lines of, just lift heavier, bro. You can only crush yourself with so much weight. And in my opinion, that's not the answer. It's not progressively overloading even more. It's actually getting more specific and granular with your training. So we've ran through this little exercise before, but today we're gonna go even deeper and I'm gonna show you how to actually fix this problem. So I want you to sit there and start firing muscles on command, right? So hit like vastus medialis, right glute, left trap, right upper pec, and try to run through your entire body, different scenarios. Just, I don't even care if you grab an anatomy chart and start pointing the shit and just try to flex it. If you can't do that at will within a split second, how in the hell do you expect your body to catch, whether you're squatting, whatever it may be, have a loaded exercise where you're actually gonna get those muscles to fire on command and not have every other muscle jump in? If you can't do that and fire it just sitting there, there's no way it's gonna happen for you with a little bit of weight on it. So to get those specific muscles to fire even faster, it just comes down to developing an efficient mind-muscle connection. And the way we're gonna do that is by training with angles in mind. So let's run through some different exercises to really illustrate what I'm talking about. So let's start with a split stance squat. Now, if you go to bodybuilding.com or any site like that, there's one right way to do that. Problem is, that's not true. Even with the angle of your back foot, where you place your back foot changes the experience for your leg overall, changes what part of the actual quad you hit. So with the standard setup, you're gonna get the entire quad involved. There's really no hyper-focus area. It's just gonna be the entire thing, a little glute at the bottom there. But as you change the angle of that back leg, then you start to really target specific parts of the quad. So as you open up those hips and push that knee out, then you jump into that vastus medialis. As you get more of an curtsy style lunge, where that knee will actually tuck in a hair, you'll hit that vastus lateralis, even a little bit more glute to it too. But at that point, now you're manipulating what part of the quad you hit, even just from that little shift in your hips from side to side. So I know that's probably not gonna sit well with some people by me adding additional pressure and torque on that knee, but here's the thing. When I started this channel, I thought I'm not doing this unless I'm gonna give away all my information in a way that's not restricted in any way. This is stuff I actually do. I understand that I might live on the fringe a little bit. That's just how I am, because in the pursuit of putting on more muscle, I'm kind of the guy, I'll risk it. If there's potential for injury, if I'm gonna push myself to beyond failure and just fall over and be done, that's worth the risk of growing for me. Different exercises like this where, I might be putting myself in a compromising position, but if I feel I'm safe in the moment, I don't feel any pain, I'm doing it. And I think you should do the same thing too. As long as you have no physical pain, you have no history of issues, then if your goal is growth, then you're gonna have to push beyond the point of either fear of what could happen or fear of hurting yourself, because if you don't, it's never gonna happen for you. So another great way to illustrate this is with hamstrings. Now with hamstrings, the position of your foot dictates what part of the muscle contracts the most. So straight up and down, you get the entire muscle recruited. As you externally rotate that foot out, you get more of the biceps femoris. Internally rotate, more of the semis jump in, and even down to the point where your dorsiflexion and plantar flexion plays a role in how much that hamstring contracts. So for me, I'm plantar flexion all day. Yes, you get a little calf jump in, but the contraction you get in those hamstrings is twice as intense. So really what it comes down to is what specific muscle isn't growing the most, right? So don't just come to me and say, hey, my quads aren't growing. Specifically, what part of your quads are not responding? And we can work with that. We find an exercise that creates that great mind-muscle connection, gets you results, and from there, I think that's the formula for growth. The moment when you can contract all the individual muscles you're trying to hit and recruit them at once to actually get the job done, say we're using a squat for an example, when you can contract that entire quad using all those individual muscles to recruit together at the same time, and that's your focus, and you can get that to happen, that's where you're gonna grow. So if you can take anything away from today, it shouldn't be, am I overloading my muscle enough? It should be, how am I overloading that muscle? Or what part of the muscle am I overloading? That should be your focus moving forward. As always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, get after it, get growing. I'll talk to you soon. Let's check this comment out. Vegan Gains brought me here. So good, no bullshit, 2-minute video straight to the point. Nice work. I wonder what that guy said. I'm sure it was pleasant.